We're a wildlife and conservation media company built around telling real stories from the wild. We believe in showing nature honestly, celebrating the wins, acknowledging the challenges, and helping people understand what's really happening out here. We make documentaries, we create conservation storytelling and marketing, and ultimately, we want our work to make a difference. Oh yes, our expertise is live, live, live. From the outside, it can look like we're just out here having fun in the bush. And yes, there are incredible moments, but behind every story is purpose. That's why being part of Safari Guide of the Year means so much to us. Guides are often seen as the people that drive the vehicle or just find the animals, but there's so much more to being a guide. Guides are educators, they're storytellers, and they're ambassadors for the wild. And they are the people creating a meaningful connection between humans and the natural world. They work incredibly hard and deserve to be celebrated.
Oh, there's been no sound. They're all saying there's no sound. Everyone's saying there's no sound. Let me tell Bex quickly. Do you have to start again? Do you think we'll have to start again? Okay. Bex, yes. Everyone online saying there's no sound. Yes, so do I need to start again?
Start again from the top.
Oh.
Take turn live.
Bloody. Okay, let's do it. Bex, must I say anything to say, like, apparently some bush babies have made a nest. No, I'm joking. Blame the bush babies. Yeah.
what you're going to do is you're going to hold this guy. You're going to give
Hold
it
it.
to
Okay. Got it.
level. You're going to
Okay.
give it to Mark.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So I'm going to start again.
Put one of them in your mouth.
Welcome to Safari Guide of the Year 2026 live storytelling. We are coming to you from the Klesiri Private Nature Reserve at the Amani Safari Camp that forms part of the Klesiri Drift Collection. I just want to say a really, really big thank you to Andrew and Kimmy and Carl and the entire team at Amani, because their hospitality today has been so in the detail and so incredible. So thank you to the whole team. For all the viewers out there, you might not know this, but literally what makes this camp so special is running right through it behind me is a drainage line. And earlier on, we had a breeding herd of elephant that came right through here, almost welcoming us on the first day as everybody was arriving. Safari Guide of the Year would not be possible if it was not for Mike Carantonis, his vision and actually seeing this competition, and for Garce's Michelle Duplessis, who took that vision to a reality. It created the foundation to recognize all of these incredible guides. I would also like to say a special thank you to all our sponsors, and I'm actually going to list them, so please bear with me. To Fugasa, Canon, Wilo, Wise, Applied Information, Trophy Rentals, Latest Sightings, Kruger to Canyon News, Discovery Wilderness Trust, Painted Dog TV, and Armadillo Media. Thank you for investing in the future of this industry. We are so incredibly grateful. I would also like to say a really special thank you to our apparel sponsor, Rugged Wear, who have literally gone and dressed the entire team, all our finalists and our judges for the whole week. You know, something about Safari Guide of the Year is that we truly are a family. And by dressing us this week, we feel so unified and we are able to wear this badge with so much pride. So to Howard, Lindsay, Lizelle, and the entire team at Rugged Wear, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much for the collaboration. It means such a great deal to us. Give them a round of applause, guys. So we have a special guest who's going to come up and say a few words. Her name is Lebogang Mpuye, and she is the executive manager of Casita. So let's welcome her up.
Lebogang Mpie. I'm from Ketsita. Ketsita is one of the 21 seaters that are there in South Africa. We are responsible for the skill set of students, employed and unemployed, that are within the conservation industry, hospitality industry, arts and culture, and tourism. And I would like to welcome everyone for attending today's event, which is part of the Safari Guide of 2026. And also just to say that it is an honor for me to stand here and be part of a brilliant concept that will see our participants being recognized as the Safaris Guides of the Year. And I hope everybody's happy as well to be here. Everybody's happy to be part of this beautiful event that has been developed, I could say, yes, to support ordinary people to be great people. And to our competitors, I would like to say you have made it to the top 5. And that is a milestone, and it's a milestone of your hard work. And Katsita also aligns itself with initiatives like that, where we're transforming nations into better nations, where we transforming people into better people. Michelle, I would also like to thank you for inviting Katsita, and also I would like to thank you as well on behalf of everyone, I think, to say to you, please continue to inspire, mentor, open doors for those that are still waiting for their chance to step into this light. And thank you so much for making this initiative a living testimony with everyone that comes to these competitions year in, year out. You would have done well. And to the participant as well, I'm saying to you, we are here to support you for your new dreams and your new beginning. And I think all of us are here as well. By the time we leave here, we would have exchanged numbers, we would have formed partnerships. And thank you for coming here today.
Thank you so much, Lebogang. So Kruger to Canyon News is part of the category, well, the storytelling category sponsorship. And the editor of Kruger to Canyon News is a name called Mark Bishop. Now, Mark is known for his ability to tell stories of the region, of our people, and of our wildlife. But he also is really known to have very likely the most colourful shirt in the Klaserie. So I would like to welcome up Mark Bishop to introduce to us the storytelling evening.
Evening, everyone. So last year, somewhere in this country, a guide had about 4 seconds to put themselves between a person they'd never met and something big enough to kill them both. They stepped in. They always step in. But before I go any further, welcome. Welcome to every one of you who's traveled to be here from a very long way away, especially Craig and Darcy Shalansky, Marilyn Silk, Ashley Hill, all the way from the United States of America. And mention must also be made of Uli Berth, who sadly couldn't join us this time, but no doubt will do so in the future. And then a very special mention to our VIP guests, Lebo Mpie, Cath Executive Manager, and Dr. Paul Mpie, Senior Manager, Enterprise and Supplier Development, and also Acting General Manager, this is a mouthful, Biodiversity Economy, Sandparks. Thank you. And also Jason Gibson, where are you? There you go, the winner of Scotty 2025. And to our sponsors, each and every one of you, thank you. There is no fire, no gathering, no competition without you. You all make this event possible, and we don't forget that. So back to the story. Ask that guide afterwards why they did it. Why did they step in? They probably won't have an answer that fits into a sentence, and they'll probably shrug and say, it's the job. Well, it's not the job, because a job is something that has shifts. And this game doesn't have shifts. So the fundamental reason why anyone does this, and really does this, is love. Without passion, this game would just be stress. Long days, hard conditions, time away from the people you love. Strip the passion out, and that's all you're left with. Passion is the only thing that turns it into a calling. So you didn't just choose guiding because it was sensible, or not because it was easy, or not for a gap year, or for a quick buck, and not because there was anything else, there was nothing else going. You chose it because it's who you are. You chose it knowing exactly what it costs. So let's be honest about what a guide actually does, because most people think that you just drive around in vehicles and point at things, but you don't. You stand on the last thin line between a guest and the wild. You take someone who has never heard silence, real silence, and you give it to them. You take someone who thinks nature is on a screensaver, and you let them feel very small under a sky full of stars or on an encounter with a dangerous animal. And when they fly home and they carry a piece of this place with them, they protect it, they fund it, and they fight for it. That is the why of a guide. You're not entertainment. You're the bridge between the wild places and the people who will decide whether or not those places survive. But here's the part that nobody puts on a postcard at all. For too long, this calling has asked everything and guaranteed nothing. Long hours, hard seasons, bodies that wear out, talent that burns bright and burns out, because there was no flaw underneath it. We romanticize the guide and forget to look after the guide. A passion with no protection gets used up. And we know that we have lost too many good people who have simply run out of road. Think about this for a second. There are roughly 8 billion people alive on this planet right now. Tiny fraction of them can do what you do. Read a track, hold a group, stand between a guest and nature, and keep everyone calm. You are rarer than almost anything or anyone on earth. The sad thing is that most of the world has no idea you even exist. So let's be straight where I'm standing. I've been lucky enough over the years to spend real time around the best people in the industry. And it's shaped on how I see this whole thing. And a full disclosure, my wife happens to be the MD of Fugasa. So yes, I kind of know how this looks, and you know exactly who I answer to, but sleeping in the same tent as the MD doesn't give you the official line. It gives you the honest line. And Mitch, I mean that with real respect, because you're the reason why I take this so seriously. So here's my honest read. That's why Fugasa exists. And here's the thing that people forget. Fugasa is by the guides, for the guides. By guides, run for guides. Setting the standard from the very beginning and holding it ever since. Not the certificate on the wall, that's the what. Not for the assessments and the logbooks, that's the how. Fugasa exists for the why. So that the person who gives their one life to this actually has a profession to stand on. 36 years of it. More than 40,000 guides trained. 4,000 active members today. And that number is something to consider, because 4,800 people don't gather around something that isn't real. It's not a club. It's a profession. A community becoming a recognized professional body, which means a guide is no longer a casual worker hoping for the best. It means a clear path with real designations to earn as you climb up the ladder. Each one saying this person has reached this standard and it counts. A guide becomes what they always were, a professional, the doctors of the bush, reading the land, reading the animal, reading the danger, and by the way, keeping people alive whilst they do it. Credibility behind the name, stability underfoot, opportunity in front. That's not a slogan. That's a promise to look after your own. Nobody does this alone. It's too big and too hard to do alone. So you look after each other. Fugasa is this industry deciding out loud to take care of its own. the circle of safety drawn around the guide, which brings us to tonight. Now, this competition is its own thing. It stands on its own 2 feet. It's powered by FAGASA, and it carries FAGASA's endorsement. And that matters because it means that the standard you judged against this week is the real one, the same standard the profession holds everywhere. And before I go any further, this competition doesn't exist by accident. We have mentioned it exists because of you, Mike, who had the vision to build it and the commitment to see it through. 15 years on. That's incredible. And it's nothing without the judges, Mike amongst them, who give up their own time, year after year, to watch closely, assess honestly, and hold the bar exactly where it needs to be. That's the whole thing. And thank you. And the finalists, the reason we're all out here, every one of you has already done something most never will. You put yourself forward. You stood for assessment, and you made it to this fire. Whatever happens this week, you are already amongst the best that the industry has. And welcome. This night and this week is yours. So let's understand what this competition actually is. We're not here to crown one person and tell the rest that they fell short. We're here to hold up for everyone to see what excellence looks like at this point in your careers. Not the final word, not the summit. There are always greater heights, harder standards, more to learn, more to interpret, more to observe. And the best people here know that better than anyone. But a real marker, proof of how far you have come, and a sign of how far you can still go. And the whole standard rises so that the youngest trainee out there in the dark, 2 years in, exhausted, living in a tent, wondering if their passion had led them to make the right choice, looks across this fire and sees exactly what they're aspiring towards. And notice who the great ones are. The best guides here are not the loudest. The bush has no patience for ego. The animals don't care what you've achieved, and the guest remembers how you made them feel long after they've forgotten what you knew. The best guides listen first to the land, to the guest, and to each other. And they put themselves last. And we call that a great guide. So here's what I want you guys to take away tonight. Whoever holds the trophy at the end of this, and someone will, and deservedly so, they did not win it tonight or only this week. They won it at 4 a.m. every morning, getting the vehicle ready in the dark. They won it cleaning it again at the end of the day. They won it staying patient with the guest that nobody else could stand. They won it reading, studying, learning the things they didn't know yet, so they'd have the answer tomorrow or the next day. They won it on thousands of hours nobody saw and nobody clapped for. And every guide sitting around this fire has already won something bigger than a title. You chose this life. You chose the wild. And you chose to do it properly, to the best of your ability, to be held to a standard, to carry the designation, and to be professional. Thank you for that. Because the whole industry is stronger because you did. So this week, do what you've always done. Stand on the line, carry the people, and let the rest of the world see what we've always known. That a guide is not someone with a job in the bush. A guide is a professional, a doctor of the bush, who gives more than the job ever asks. Bring it on. There you go.
Thanks so much for that, Mark. So, as guides, we don't just go looking for lions and tracking leopards or identifying birds and so much more. But the most powerful tool that we can have is the ability to tell stories. You see, stories bring the landscape to life. It is a way for a guide to share their knowledge, conservation, history, culture. Stories create a connection between people and the wild places that we love the most. Earlier on today, we all went out for a bit of a bumble in the bush, and our finalists got to choose their sort of like numbers to see in what order will they be doing the assessments throughout the week. And so tonight's storyteller is our finalist, Sarah Barrett, who is from Thornybush. And so I'm going to call her up, please, to come up to at the front. Everyone can welcome Sarah. So Sarah doesn't know this, but I did a little bit of digging. And you know, Google is fantastic with this. It's Sarah Barrett, if you don't know. And I found out that Sarah's from Manchester, and there's so many fascinating things about her. She's got her qualification, is it in governments and politics?
I studied government and politics, yes.
So nobody mess with her, I'll tell you what. And so, Sarah, I basically came up with 2 questions that I'd like to ask you, because, I mean, we really have the privilege to get to know all the finalists, but I really want the viewers to get to know you guys as well. And Mark, if you could please bring up your torch, it would be amazing. Thank you. the wild. All right. Thanks, Mark, because you're doing me a favor now. All right, Sarah, first question. You often say that we are a part of nature, not separate from it. Mm-hmm. Was there a specific moment in the bush that shifted your idea that you understood this to something that you truly felt?
Yes, definitely. And it's the story I'm going to share with you this evening.
Oh, intrigued. Mm-hmm. Right. So then our number 2 question is, you've had like quite a lot happen to you. So I read like you got mock charged by a lion. There was also a time where she was at a sundowner spot and she got surrounded by fireflies, which I haven't seen actually in a really, really long time. If you had to choose one experience that completely changed the way that you see the natural world, what would it be and why?
Phew, that's a difficult question. It's probably going to have to be my story that I'm sharing with you this evening. Sorry. I know that's a cop-out.
How curious is this, guys? Yeah. So I say we leave Sarah then to share her story for tonight. Do you need a mic?
Thank you. Yes. The story I'd like to share with you this evening is one of a seemingly small moment, but it is a moment that changed the trajectory of my life forever. It was right at the start of my career, and I hadn't been guiding long. I'd come to a crossroads, trying to decide how to move forward with my career. Should I push on with guiding, become a field ranger, or maybe go back to the political side of conservation? Because I just so desperately wanted to make a difference in the conservation world. And to be honest, I was really starting to feel way in over my head with guiding. I come from a world where there is pretty much zero exposure to so many of the skills that we use as a guide. 4x4 driving, shooting, tracking. And I'd spent that morning trying to get to grips with my shooting. Now, bear in mind, in England, we get nervous leaving the house with a butter knife out of fear of being arrested. So I think it's fair to say that handling a 4.58 was a tad outside of my skill sets. Anyway, I carried on with my working day, head now filled with doubt and uncertainty. And I was setting up a evening drink stop for another guide and his guests. It was in this stunning forest-filled valley. There was a waterfall, a stream running through. It was beautiful. And I set everything up, got the drinks out, lit the lanterns, got the fire going. The guests came and had an amazing time. They thought it was great. As the sun set, a couple of fireflies came out. They thought it was absolutely incredible. And it was picturesque, it really was. And they finished their drinks, and the guide and his guests headed off, leaving me alone in the dark to pack away. And putting everything back, putting the drinks away, turn the lanterns off, head down, still deep in my own thoughts of unsurety with my career. And the last light left was the fire. I picked up a bucket of water, threw it on the fire, and looked up into what I expected to be the pitch black. But what I saw instead just took my breath away. I was surrounded by hundreds and thousands of fireflies. And I don't just mean a few little pretty dots of light. I mean clouds of them lighting up the forest around me. The trees, the stream, the waterfall, illuminating different parts of the forest as they moved. It was like a fairy tale. I was in awe at the beauty and magnitude of nature, its complexity and simplicity, and this overwhelmingly powerful feeling of humility and connection with nature just overcame me. Something I'd never experienced like that before. And it was in that moment that I realized, this is it. This is how I can make a difference, by guiding others to their own moments of magic, just like this. And I can genuinely say that after all my years guiding, I made the right decision at those crossroads all those years ago, because it has been the biggest privilege to lead and guide my guests to and through those moments of wonder and connection with nature, to watch them fall deeply in love with our natural world, and from that love become people who want to fight to protect it, just like you and I. That seemingly small moment all those years ago has brought me more joy and fulfillment than I ever could have imagined. And I will be forever grateful for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I remember, like, when you speak about the fireflies, I can actually remember when I was a little girl growing up in KwaZulu-Natal, my mum and my dad would take me to this nearby golf course. And when we used to go there, I always remember seeing the fireflies. And so it's been so long, years and years since I've seen fireflies. And I've always wondered, like, where have all the fireflies gone? And it's so beautiful for you to share that story. And I can imagine just being on your own and just being surrounded by them. It must have been spectacular.
It was.
Sarah, thank you so much
Thank you, Pam.
for coming up here. It's not easy, I know. So, from all of us here at Amani Safari Camp, thank you for tuning in. Until tomorrow night at the same time, join us again and good night.